What's going on, people? What is going on? This is your man, Six Man K Styles, and you are now tuning into the Six Man Combo. Let's get it. I didn't realize, this song kind of gives you a Nate Dogg vibe just a little bit. Oh, Santa Claus is coming straight to the ghetto. What's going on? What's going on, people? What is going on? This is your man, Six Man K Styles, coming through with the ones and twos. And today is a glorious Tuesday. I hope everybody's had a good day so far.
It's coming straight to the ghetto.
But as you already know, while we have a six-man combo, I'm joined by the Senator Palpatine, the mad scientist himself, Mad Mike Sports. Hey, definitely appreciate y'all coming in, tuning in, coming in heavy already. So, Mike, let's go ahead and hit them. Normally hit them with on every show. Consists of 3 words. Roll call. Roll call. There you go. And today's roll call, we're going to hit y'all with a good one today. We got the roll call starting off with Joseph Thornton, Raymond Elder, Robert Ponder, Big Ant in the building, Melvin Emery, Bubba Gump, Silas Draven, Brian Peoples, Ethan Jones, Myron Jackson, Pat Norris, Kenneth Lewis, Rally 1090, Pamela Johnson, Leah D. We got the Low Ski in the building, ATL Leo. We got Lee 85, Jerry Bowie, Nathan Floyd, Trauma Isaac Grimes. We got Michael Walker, Keyshawn Vlad, D. Coleman, Living a Dream. We got Mucho Grundy. We got Fred Butts. My people Sonia's in the building. So let's go ahead and cut the music in 3, 2. What's going on, people? Let's go ahead and get right into it, man. As y'all already seen what today's title of the show is. You know what? I want to make a confession right now here today. I want to make a confession, Mike. You know what? My confessions for today is the fact that the Atlanta Falcons have been the underdogs in literally every game this season and are so far 6-0 against the spread. I love it.
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. So As a fan of the Atlanta Falcons, this is why we always say here, whether they 17-0 or 0-17, you are going to get the same energy from me, Mad Mike Sports, and everybody that you see associated with us. So,
let me get a little quote. I want to start off on a little quote, and this comes from one of my favorite rappers, um, and it just sums up who I am and why is this important. Uh, Will Smith don't gotta cuss in records and rap to sell records. Well, I do, so fuck him and fuck you too. So basically, what that means is Mad Mike Sports, Atlanta Falcons Nation. This is what we do. We're not cookie cutter. We are who the hell we are, and that's going against the grain. And this is why this Atlanta Falcons team is so near and dear to us, and why we're riding with these guys. They are the underdogs, like K-Style just said. They've been the underdogs and cover the spread for all 6 games, the first 6 games. That's what we are about. We go against the grain. We're not cookie cutter. We're not what everybody's trained to see and trained to hear. We go against the grain. And this is what this Atlanta Falcons team, this is what the Dirty Birds represent. And this is what Atlanta Falcons Nation, Man Mike Sports, 6-man K-Style, Holy Alliance. This is what we about.
hey, man. So, let's go ahead and get right into it. Let's go ahead and get right into it. And today's topic is are the Atlanta Falcons still considered the worst roster in the NFL? Now, you probably wondering, why are we talking about this? Where we've literally seen the Atlanta Falcons themselves, literally first 6 games, go up against 5 playoff teams. If you don't believe me, look at these point spreads. Look at these point spreads. +5, +10, +1, +1, +10, +3.5. The only non-playoff team we have played so far is the Seattle Seahawks. Well, no, actually, no, they did go to the playoffs too. Now the Atlanta Falcons are starting to get a little bit more love, and people are starting to now kind of see what a lot of us have been seeing from what this team, what our expectations of this team was going to have to be in order for them to turn that page. Like I said, this was pretty much a tell-all year as far as what direction they wanted to go to. Matt Mike said it best, and he's been saying it this whole offseason. We're not worried about what the players are doing. It's about what are the coaches, what are they going to do? So as I say that, I set it up for Mad Mike to give his take on the Falcons still being considered the worst roster in football. Floor is yours, my brother.
Are the Falcons the worst roster in the NFL? I'll say this. Yes, they are.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, they are. Ain't a dang thing changed from them. Number one, you got a journeyman quarterback. You got a rookie quarterback. You got a quarterback that's in the third year playing tight end. You got Caleb Huntley that nobody wanted. He was an undrafted free agent. You got a fifth round running back in Tyler Algier. You got a wide receiver playing running back in Cordero Patterson. You got a tight end, a second year tight end, and Kyle Pitts. Obviously, he is probably one of the better tight ends in the league, but he's not catching a lot of passes. You got Michael Pruitt, a guy who just signed a contract to stay with the team, um, who was a journeyman tight end himself. I can keep going on and on. Caleb McGarry, nobody wanted him. They wanted to kick him out of the league. Chris Lindstrom, obviously, he probably one of the better premier guards in the league. Veteran or young, a center, and Drew Dahlman, who just does nothing but screw up. A lot of those snaps. You got Wilkinson, who came from um, the Bears, and the Bears, he was so shit in with the Bears. They got rid of him too. He was a starter that right tackle for them a couple of games too. Right guard, he was all over the place. And then Jake Matthews, nobody still don't get him the respect that he deserves. Wide receiver, Alameda Zacchaeus. Obviously, nobody saw anything in him either. He was a undrafted. I believe he was an undrafted free agent, if I'm not mistaken. But I can keep going on and on. Down the line, Gray Jarrett, fifth round pick. Nobody wanted him. I like AJ. A lot of people didn't want him, but they was kind of shocked. So there's that, that chip on his shoulder as far as that's concerned. It's like the guys in Atlanta didn't really want me here. A lot of people didn't want they were, I won't say necessarily want him, but they were shocked that it was him in that particular order. So I could keep going on and on, all up and down the roster. They were filled with misfits. So ain't a damn thing changed. Young Wei Koo, a journeyman, he failed his first couple of years in the NFL, absolutely bombed, and now he's one of the better kickers in the league. And Bradley Pinion was cut by so many teams, and now he's found a home here in Atlanta. Arthur Smith, they say he was a fake tough guy. Dean Pease, they say he didn't know what the hell he was doing, and end up not getting any respect in Tennessee. Mike Vrabel tried to take all the credit for the defense that he built, and here we go now in Atlanta. He's turning this defense around with a bunch of guys that nobody really wanted. You got a guy at AK-47 he was the ugly guy. He was the ugly guy at Penn State. The pretty guy was Michael Parsons. He was doing all the dirty work and made sure that he stayed clean. I could keep going and on and on and on and on and on. Richie Grant, no, he played at UCF. And look, who the hell want to play at UCF? Everybody want to go to Georgia and Alabama and LSU and all these pretty schools. So he got a chip on his shoulder. Jalen Hawkins. Come on, man. Another guy, a low draft pick. I can keep going on and on and on. None of these guys have those first round picks on their jersey, on their resume, none of that shit. So hell yeah, we're still the worst roster in the league. But what makes us so good? That heart, baby. That's what men are made of. That heart.
AKA, he said, we the worst roster in football and we don't give a fuck.
Not a fuck. So yes, sir, we are. Ain't nothing changed.
Yeah. So this conversation kind of comes up. It kind of came up because I know pretty much kind of covered what we really wanted to cover with the cooler talk yesterday. So I wanted to kind of switch it up just a little bit because we hearing it all around that Well, the Atlanta Falcons can shock. I think Greeny on ESPN said that the Falcons can shockingly win the NFC South. The first thing he said was, "I can't believe I'm saying this." So if you had to say that first, Greeny, don't say it at all.
I was
You
about to say
gotta
that.
keep
I
the
was about to say that.
same energy.
Mm-hmm.
You got other people talking about, well, damn, this team just won't go away. Maybe this team is a little bit better than we thought. I said, no, hashtag 2-15. Just like our homie LT said, hashtag 2-15. Hashtag worst roster in football. We've heard this, and the reason why we harp on this because this ain't even the major sports media that put this narrative out there. This is our own Atlanta media putting it out there,
Mm-hmm.
coming up with mock drafts for the 2023 draft 2 days after the 2022 draft, saying that Arthur Smith needs to be fired because he's not their cup of tea.
Mm-hmm. We need a more modern offense. This offense is old.
Right. So what you're seeing from this team right now is all coaching. This is literally, well, this is a brand new team, but this is a brand new team full of, like Mike said, a bunch of ragtag guys that had no shot anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
The Falcons are fourth in the league in turnovers. Well, takeaways. Top 5 in rushing. Top 5 in second half scoring.
Mm. Let's see it. Mm.
Offense and defense, by the way.
Mm. Mm.
Arthur Smith said it best, and D. Coleman put it up here. You already wrote our obituary. DP said, DP had another quote this offseason. You keep telling players that they suck or they're terrible, one of two things is going to happen. Either they're going to buy into it or they're going to thrive from it.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead, and I got a little treat for everybody. That we got a little treat over here for today. I want y'all to go ahead and get your notebooks, your pads, get your whiteboards cleared out because you know who we got coming in today. We got the professor. What's going on, Noah?
Oh, a bit of a long overdue appearance, but I'm doing just as fine as everyone else.
Hey, man, what you got for us, man? What you got on your mind?
You know what? I keep seeing that. I think these people are making the power rankings wrong. They keep
What?
having the 32nd team at like 18 or 14 or whatever the case may be. Like, they don't know where to put this team. Because all I've been saying is that we were the only 2-15 team. All right, there were people making bets about us being worse than the Panthers.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Saying that we would automatically get the first overall pick just by nature.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yet here we are. Tied atop of the division. Should have been more than that. Okay. I can give a realistic scenario at me being realistic. Oh, come on. I can give a realistic scenario of us being 6-0.
Yeah.
All right. Brian Edwards catches that pass in the end zone, week 1. That's a win. Speaking of another pass that Edwards may have caught, Mariota just throws it just 2 inches lower in week 2. That's a touchdown. That's a win. And we already know what happened last week. So I think this was a statement win to show off that, hey, if you had any doubts as to whether or not the Falcons had the ability to drive down the field against Tampa Bay, I think this game was the pinnacle example of that. Like, yeah, we would have done that, no problem. Okay. I heard the commentators, right, featuring Noah Eagle and Mark Schlereth, talk about how the 49ers did not allow a touchdown in the first half since December of last year. We dropped 3 of them. One of them on defense with a scoop and score. Come on now.
I wanted to karate chop him in the throat. He got on my damn nerves calling the game. He had his head so far up Shanahan's ass. I've never seen him like offense wasn't doing anything. He was just kept talking about how much of a genius he was. He ain't scoring no damn points. Throwing wide receiver screens to get the quarterback into it. Go ahead, Noah. Go.
And I want to give people this thing because I found out about it and I dropped it into the Discord. But shout out to the Bootleg Football Podcast for giving me this snippet of information about Kyle Shanahan. Did you know that in the Super Bowl era, this is playoffs included, by the way, when a coach is trailing by 5 points or more at the start of the fourth quarter, right? Any coach, right? If you're down by 5 at the start of the fourth quarter, there is literally no worse head coach than Kyle Shanahan. As in that situation, he is 0-26. There is not a single instance of him as a head coach overcoming just a 5-point deficit in the fourth quarter. So that's all I got to say on that. We got a $4.99 super chat.
$4.99 super chat
from Jones. The Benz be rocking, and I play a major part of it because I got season tickets and I make lots of noise. Well, we appreciate that, man. Because I after week 1, I made my stream. And it's like, hey, we're gonna keep pointing the finger, but I think some of us have to remind ourselves that we play a factor, and this is how we do so, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we dominate that stadium and the crowds and the attendance, we dominate the game.
Mm-hmm.
This is just a snippet of how good we can be in the future, folks. And I'm not even talking like long-term 2023 and all that kind of crap. I'm talking about like this season, right? People want to talk about how we had like the 9th hardest schedule in the league, right? To go along with the worst roster in the NFL. Got one of the top 10, like one of the worst schedules you could possibly give a bad team. And this was the main crux of the argument as to why they considered us bad. Mm-hmm. They said, even if you have all that talent, you're not going to overcome that schedule. Now what are they saying? Down the stretch, we literally have the easiest schedule in the NFL based off of the metrics of this season. Who said that first? I said that back in May.
Mm-hmm. That's why we call him the professor. Pen, paper, notes.
Yeah. Look, I've stated this several times. All you have to do is go back through our archives. There's well over 3,000 videos on here. If you have any doubt on anything, you can hit us up or you can go through the archives yourself. It's not that difficult. Just go a year. Just a year. Just go through it. We were saying everything from the possibility of Debo actually staying as well as being traded. We've stated it's nothing we have not spoken on.
You right about that?
I remember me and Mike having a discussion about Deion Jones's contract in the offseason at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, here's the thing, right? Like, they can probably overcome the salary cap at some point. It's just a matter of can they overcome the talent that he is. And then Troy Anderson was like, hey, I'm here.
And he showed up. Yep.
Well, what you needed a fast guy that can tackle and cover. Oh, that's me.
Yeah. So for those that may not know, that the remaining schedule for the Atlanta Falcons is the Bengals,
Winnable.
the Panthers twice.
Give me
in
that.
3 weeks. The Chargers.
That's what I'm gonna focus on.
The Bears.
Oh, please.
The Commanders.
Embarrassing.
The Steelers.
Come on
the
now.
Saints.
Well, thanks for taking care of Tampa Bay for us.
The Saints.
The
Ravens.
How's that defense looking?
That's going to be
Cardinals.
That defense is struggling right now.
Ooh, can Kyler overcome his shortcomings?
And the very last game of the year, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Grady, you got some revenge to get.
Mm-hmm.
But before the season started, the expectation was the Falcons weren't going to win their first game until week 10. That was the expectation.
The crazy part is that even if we had to deal or if we had to worry about injuries, everyone that was like lurking in the depth chart, every single position group has stepped up in some way.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where we can lose Cordell Patterson for a couple weeks and not even bat an eyelash. We can lose Kyle Pitts and give Michael Pruitt a touchdown before Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, man, definitely shout out to Kyle Pitts, man, because he is literally turning into a complete tight end right before our eyes, too.
Oh,
What
yeah.
was the thing?
I've noticed how big his arms are getting from blocking.
That's
Goodness
the thing.
gracious.
Passing game is yet to come together. That's the scariest thing about this team right now. When the passing game, when the passing game finally comes together the way that we know that it can, Drake London, Zacchaeus is playing out of his mind right now. And then teams start focusing on, all right, we have to stop this run. We can't worry about Kyle Pitts. That's when things are going to get really interesting. When teams start saying to themselves, look, we can't be worried about Kyle Pitts. We got to stop this run. We have to stop the run. That's when things are going to get scary for this offense. Because at some point, you're going to get Cordell Patterson back. And he can still play wide receiver. And you can have both those guys. I saw something, and I believe K-Styles, I don't know who it was who mentioned this, but they had a pro set. We haven't seen a pro set since.
That was LT.
That was LT? We haven't seen a
That was
pro set
LT.
in this team and with this team in a long time. So picture Cordero Patterson in one side, and you have Caleb Huntley or Tyler Algier in the same backfield. Those guys split out. Now you got a 3 wide receiver set with Kyle Pitts, Cordero Patterson, and Zacchaeus, as well as Drake London. How are you going to do that with a quarterback who can make plays on the run himself? This offense has yet to come together. So when they finally get it, you think the teams are scared now? Do not be surprised if the Falcons if they make it to the playoffs. Do not be surprised they make a run. That's all I'm gonna say.
Defense travels, right? Run game travels.
Yeah,
that definitely carries over into the winter season, into December playoff football. That's when you're going to need to run game a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think the NFL, like you posted about this earlier, Mike, about like the average amounts of points being scored per game. It's like lower than usual.
Mm-hmm.
Like the margin of victory is like significantly lower. Mm-hmm. And sure, like you can give up some examples as to why that could be the case, but the way I see it for us is that sorry, something got in my throat. We control the game because of the run game, right? We're controlling the clock, we're controlling the field position, we're controlling our physicality, and we get to call whatever we want because of that. And even when everyone and their left mother knows that we're going to run the ball and they still can't stop it, right? Like I saw the cameraman getting fooled out by Marcus Mariota's like zone read still.
Yeah. That was nice.
Like, we're in week 6, man. We have yet to become a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We haven't even really tapped into a full, complete team like that. But what they're doing is they're setting the mindset. This is the biggest difference from last year to this year, is that you have a bunch of guys that bought into the mindset of it's us against the world. Nobody believes in us. Everybody in this locker room, everybody in this circle, we believe in each other. That's why when Arthur Smith put out the presser as far as talking about Mariota, is like, these guys believe in Mariota. They are fighting with Mariota. This is why you don't see a Desmond Ridder out there right now.
Imagine waking up in the morning wanting to praise Marcus Mariota.
When is it time to start Desmond Ridder?
Right.
I don't know how many headlines I saw that.
Right. But like you said,
he has a bounce back game.
Right. So, and D. Coleman said this season is showing that there's a difference between play calling and coaching. How do y'all feel about that?
I mean,
well,
case in point was Kyle Shanahan, right?
Outside of Kyle Shanahan, I already said it before. Kyle Shanahan overrated as fuck.
All right, fine. He's basically everyone's punching bag. Well, Matt LaFleur, how about that for Green Bay? I think they actually let Aaron Rodgers call like a good number of the plays, and they've kind of been losing. I wouldn't say as a result of that, but when you have like one of the best run duos in the NFL, and you still want to make your rookie receivers work and become a thing when you know that it hasn't been, I think that's about time where you kind of like take that away from the quarterback. I get that he's got back-to-back MVPs, but he's not Bart Starr, all right? Like, he's not going to just call all of the plays for you and imagine that to work. Like, this isn't the early to late 60s or whatever. Like, this is why you have coaching. Yeah, play calling is play calling, but coaching is coaching. Like, this is where you need to step up, all right? This is when you have to just get your offense, get your defense, get your special teams, rally around each other. All right. And just like what Raymond Elder said about us, when we control the time of possession, it's all about complementary football. That is coaching. You can't get that from play calls.
It's all about the adjustments as well. A lot of players can't see what's even in their head. Like, let's just say, for example, I saw a clip earlier today where Dave McGrone was stating that Marcus Mariota was doing a better job of planting his foot in the pocket. That's something that I saw earlier, but these are the things from a coaching standpoint that you see that players can't see. All right, Mike, you're leaning back a little bit too far. When you throw, your front shoulder isn't, going through the zone, fast enough, quick enough, or you're doing it too fast, you're doing it too slow, you're not watching the target. Like, these are the types of things that coaches can see. This is why you have in boxing, you have guys like Angelo Dundee who can see, all right, this guy's doing this. All right, you need to make the next, you need to, shoot the uppercut, give him the jab or whatever it is. This is what coaching is for. And this is why I've always stated, having a guy like Aaron Rodgers calling all the plays, he doesn't care about the right tackle not being able to pass protect. He doesn't care about the center is not very good in pass protection. He wants to call plays that he's comfortable with, and what he's comfortable with is not always good for the team and the offensive line. Now we see the same guys that we shitted on for the last 2 to 3 years are playing like all pros. I wonder why.
I wonder why too.
Why is that case? Though?
And you can have bad play calls and bad coaching at the same time, Broncos. And then that kind of plays into that. So, like, there's the good, there's the good, bad, there's the bad, good, and then there's the bad, bad.
Yeah, that is true. But hold on, everybody, hold on. We gonna have to take an intermission here, man. We got 111 people in here, and I only see 30 likes, man. We got to get these likes up, man. So we got to take a little intermission break here. I gotta give y'all an opportunity to go ahead and hit that like button. So, time out. You gotta help your brother out, man. Like you said, man, we appreciate y'all watching. We always do. This is why we say you always go ahead and hit that like button, man. We gotta get this message out here. And that like button is very, very key. So we definitely appreciate that. So while you also hitting that like button, you also make sure you go ahead and subscribe to Noah Tyndale, Mad Mike Sports. Hell, 6-man K Styles.
I mean, you're already here.
Hey, well, for yeah, exactly. You got ghost watchers out there. They love watching, coming to our programs, but they don't want to subscribe. But they don't want to hit the like button.
Subscribe.
All right. I didn't even get the replicas in. They already done hit the 50% mark. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Now, we definitely appreciate that, man. Like you said, man, it's free. We just want to put the message out here, man. We want to show y'all and to show these other folks that you got some people, you got some Falcon fans out here that are ride or die. You got Falcon fans out here that are relatable, that ain't all that kind of bumps the system on a daily basis, like we do, because we damn sure do bump the system.
I take pride in that.
But got a couple questions here, man. This is what I said at this point in time. Y'all go ahead and y'all relay y'all questions here in the chat, man. Here's a question here from Derek. He says, do you think when Damian Williams come back, he's still a big part of this offense? To be honest with you,
Hell no. No.
I can't. Like I said, you can't take away from those two. Those two are hot right now.
Avery too.
And Avery, like you said, Avery is making some big runs too. So Damian Williams,
you damn sure ain't gonna take carries away from Cordero. So I just don't see Williams being with this team anymore. I think he's gonna get cut.
Heck, we gave a carry to Keith Smith on a 3rd and short.
Yeah, think.
Got Keith Smith in the run game, Keith Smith in the passing game, the right way.
Not some freaking 4th and 9 curl route on the outside.
the
right way.
What Dirk Cutter? Yeah, I had to throw that one in there. But yeah, man, Damian Williams is he's kind of the odd man out right now, and like you said, it's unfortunate. But when you got Algier, and which I will say with Algier, that's the guy that put everybody on him over here. You see the guy down here at the bottom? And then you got Caleb Huntley. Like you said, they running well right now. Avery Williams running well right now. This offense is flowing right now. Bruh. And I want everybody, if anybody went on, checked out Baldy's breakdowns, he took so much pride in looking at Kyle Pitts. Like I said, when you got Kyle Pitts out here more excited blocking than catching passes, when y'all said that he couldn't block, Arthur Smith and this coaching staff have lit such a fire under this team right now that your biggest playmaker is excited about doing the dirty work.
Yeah, shout out to the whole tight end university as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we got those clips of George Kittle teaching Kyle Pitts how to block and how to get off releases and whatnot. And like San Francisco, that is like George Kittle, that is their pride and joy, right? Like they can do whatever you want with like everyone else, but no, you don't touch Kittle. Like that is their baby. But yeah. Meanwhile, over here, like we're taking pride in him as well. He don't got to be the one that's like, gets the biggest attention every single snap. But what he will do is play his part. And if his part is blocking, guess what? He wants to do the best job at blocking. If it's running the routes as providing a decoy so to create separation for someone else, he's going to do an excellent job of making sure that he's getting attention from multiple defenders as much as he can. And when it comes his time, that's your reward, right? That's your red zone target. That's your red zone touchdown, which I've heard some people making some statements about his dirty bird dance. It's like, well, don't worry, he'll get some extra. I'm
gonna say that was kind of the funky chicken he did, but we give him a pass on it.
It's his first time.
But
it's better than freaking Mike Gesicki's gritty. That's for sure.
Boy, that was the worst thing I ever seen. Boy, that motherfucker looked like he was out there passing out.
I don't know what
he was doing.
Woo child, how your grandma be saying woo child. I don't know what that was.
I don't know what good when I was doing in the mirror.
Like, yeah, that's why you do them in the mirror.
Oh, the
and only in the mirror.
He better never in his
Don't do it.
lifetime ever do that shit again.
There are so many dance moves, bro. Don't stick to that.
Yeah, do
Especially
it.
if you
I'm seeing
can't
him
do it.
pipe rider or something. Damn, you could have did better than that.
That motherfucker was in the end zone picking flowers. That's what he was doing. That wasn't no gritty. He was picking flowers. But
Yeah, about
God.
Kyle Pitts breaking him down. Yeah, it's very cathartic watching that because we just get to see how well rounded he's becoming as a player for us. And stuff like that, as small as it may be, as a defensive player, you need as many tails as possible to figure out what the offense is doing before the snap, right? And if you see Kyle Pitts lining up in a certain formation, if you see him looking a certain way, if you see him acting a certain way, like I saw this one post about like Joe Mixon, for example, the running back for the Bengals, like, and you see him in the backfield, like if he like stands up, that's when you know it's a pass. But if he's like leaning forward, that's when you know it's a run. That's all it takes sometimes. And then that right there is a tell. So when you see Kyle Pitts and you're thinking like, oh, well, he's only good at receiving. And then you see him out there, you know, on, what was the name? Like a Menahu or something? Just cracking him.
Right. Oh, my God.
Again, it makes you feel really good about who we have. And then I saw someone else saying like, hey, Drake London's doing really good at blocking too. You know, like we saw Kadero Hodge, you know, putting in some good effort downfield with some blocking. And like, that's when you have everyone buying into that, right? Like everyone on the field takes pride in that run game. All right, like one of the phrases that we keep hearing him say is like 1 of 11, right?
Wow.
It takes all 11 people to make the run game work. And you think, well, how does it take all 11, right? Like, don't you as the quarterback just like hand the ball off and that's it? Like that's your job? No. All right, like not in this offense especially. You seeing all the stuff that Marcus has to do before the snap? Not saying he's the only one, but it just goes to show that when he's making sure that everyone's lined up and that every play looks the same as what it did before, even if you're in the same formation. Right? Like you can't make your passes look so different from your runs before the snap. Because that's when everyone's going to know.
Correct.
So you can't have that tell as a quarterback, right? You have to sell it. And if it's a play action, you have to sell it. If it's a draw, you have to sell it. Zone read, you have to sell it. Just a standard drop back pass, you have to sell whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah, man, definitely. And like you said, that is the difference between a well-coached team and a team of good players with average coaching. Because you do not want them tails. We, as Falcon fans, we used to have a player that used to give away plays subconsciously. If anybody remember James Stone's, if I run snap with left, if I pass snap with right looking ass.
Yeah, he didn't last very long in the NFL. He didn't.
Again, that's all it takes. If you get that one tell. You know, I remember like hearing about how Brett Favre, like every run play, he never looked at the safeties. And that's how teams are able to like snuff up the run.
Exactly.
So
that's why Brett Favre, that like I said, as many touchdowns as Brett Favre had thrown in his career, that's why he's the NFL career leader in interceptions too.
Whoops.
Y'all forgot about that, didn't you? Gunslinger, all right. Threw picks like a mug.
Yeah, if you try to get Desmond Ritter to do the same thing, right? We saw in the preseason, and I get that it was in the preseason, right? Like, and it's a difference. Like we've seen a massive difference so far between preseason week 2 or whatever to like week 6, but you're still going to have those mental slip ups. You're still going to have certain habits that might carry over from your college days to the pros that you need to snuff out, and allowing the time to do that, right? Like, I've never had a problem with being like, well, if Mariota isn't it, then we just need to let Ritter, get his lumps or whatever, and just like make sure that we have the guy. Well, here's the thing: if you rush him too far into it, and you realize that there's more than one problem to be fixed, you're going to have him play hero ball. And what is most of these quarterbacks known for right now? They're playing hero ball, and some of them, they can get by with that margin of error because everything else around them is already set up. All right, Josh Allen is like 80% of the offense in Buffalo. He is the hero, if you will. But the thing about it is,
that was one of the things coming out of college that I was, and quite frankly, that's the reason why I think he failed to the third round. Desmond Ritter is that he was a puppet. This is why I hate RPO. I hate it with a passion for the development of a quarterback, not the system itself, but for the quarterback, because he was a puppet at Cincinnati. He was only doing what the coach taught him. When you get to the NFL, that's not a trait that you want. You want to be able to think in different schemes. He didn't have that option in college where he had to like, all right, this is what happens, and if it goes astray, where am I going to go for it? Desmond Ritter, he's looking to the sidelines. Coach, what should I do here? That's something that, from a quarterback standpoint, you want to be able to give him the freedom to be a quarterback, to call the plays. Not every time, you see a defense show a blitz, they stop, look to the sideline, look at some damn cards. This is why he's the backup. This is why he's still on the bench for the Atlanta Falcons. Because quite frankly, in my opinion, I think he's a better thrower than Marcus Mariota. But Marcus Mariota understands the dynamics of being a quarterback. Like Noah was just saying, understanding that you got to look at the safeties, you got to look at the corners, you got to look at the linebackers. How is the defensive line shifting towards this side or this side? Do I have to, call a play to shift my line to go to the left, to the right? Or we're going to crash down and take out the blitz, and we're going to leave the outside for him for the hot read or the linebacker or the running back. These are the things you got to understand from a quarterback standpoint that are very important in developing. And this is the reason why Marcus Mariota is the quarterback right now. He didn't do that at Cincinnati. He was a puppet at Cincinnati. And this is one of the main reasons why you see Bryce Young is struggling his ass off at Alabama. He's getting hit constantly. This is why he's having injuries. It's because he's a puppet. The RPO turns quarterbacks into puppets. They don't know what to do. So he runs for his life. So
Hey, look, I'm about to say you just brought up a very interesting question that I just thought of. But let me get this out the way. Mm-hmm. Well, you pretty much kind of answered it. But I'm gonna say, he said, do you feel Marcus Mariota will break out and pass for 250 against the Bengals on account of them trying to stop the run? Look, I'm
the Bengals.
The Bengals. I'm gonna tell you like this. I don't know. Maybe. But like Malcolm has said, by any means necessary. For all my wrestling fans, the Nation of Domination said, by any means necessary. If he doesn't throw for 250 yards, I'm fine with it. If we're running the ball and we're controlling the clock, like I said, this offense does not predicate for Marcus Mariota to throw for 300 yards. I know he said 250 here. It's not predicated on him to throw 250 to 300 yards.
Or just getting stats in general for a certain player.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like we've seen time and time again, like this offense doesn't care about fantasy football or it doesn't care about like how many stats it has. Like Marcus Mariota has never cared about that. Right? Like he said so in his recent press conferences. What matters is making sure that you get your best game plan up against the team, right? And if we're going to talk about the Bengals, I'm pretty sure that they just like lost like both of their starting defensive tackles and got gashed up in the run. So even if they're going to try to stop us, they don't have the firepower at their best right now to do that. Even if they know, right? Sunday's team knew we were going to run the ball. Last week's team knew we were going to run the ball. The previous team's week before knew that we were going to run the ball. All right, like if you're going to show like on account of trying to stop the run, the only team that's kind of done that was the Rams, and that was only because of the game script. That was only because we were down such a deficit to where it became necessary to pass more, and even that was starting to become sneakily successful.
And let me put this out. Let me put this out there right quick. Falcons, Bengals. The Bengals are a 6-point favorite against the Falcons. Let me put that out there. So once again, we're the underdogs in another game.
6-0 against the spread is all I'm going to say.
That's all that need to be said right there, man. Like I said, literally every game we're going to be the underdogs.
And we're doing so much better than what Vegas ever thought we were going to be.
Oh, they mad as hell. Well, now Vegas, I know Vegas are happy because what's happening is that because the Falcons are underdogs and they putting these bets out here. And you know the crazy thing is, before last week, when they did the spread, when they did the spread bets, where the Falcons were the underdog, they usually took the other team at a whopping 90 to 98% in all those games. This year, all the bets are going to the Falcons for covering the spread.
Oh, man.
Oh, God, Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley asked, that kind of goes with this question right here. Well, Pat North said, would you trade Calvin Cha-Cha Slide Ridley for? I don't believe he fits the team. Man, I trade him for a moon pie, some fruit snacks, and a Bang energy drink.
I'll trade him for a compliment.
I'll say this: I'm not trading them for.
Then again, if you want to be like the Panthers GM, be like, "Oh, I want multiple first rounders."
Oh my God!
Look. I'm not. If I'm the Atlanta Falcons, I'm taking my time with Calvin Ridley. I'm taking my time with Calvin Ridley because now you have weapons outside of Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, we're the ones with the control.
Yeah, that's why I say I'm taking my time with it. I'm taking my time
at the start of it all. Like he seemed to have all the control because we didn't know what the answer was going to be at wide receiver.
Mm-hmm. And now they have it.
Now
so
we know.
I'm taking my time getting the right deal because even if he doesn't want, like even at this point in time, Calvin really just want to play for a team. He doesn't have any power whatsoever. So if I'm the Atlanta Falcons, I'm looking for a second or better or multiple picks for that. If he doesn't buy into the scheme, look, his presence on the field is just enough. His presence is going to open up things for Drake London on third and fourth wide receivers. I'll take that. I'll take even Calvin Ridley on the third and fourth wide receiver. Because now you got Kyle Pitts, you got Calvin Ridley, now you got Drake London and OZ. If he continues to do what he's been doing all this season, you got a great wide receiver core right now, and an offensive line that can't be stopped. So I'm not. Look, K-Style, you got to get out your feelings when it comes down to this. Get out your feelings because he is a fit to be here as a decoy. Okay, that's what we're talking about as a decoy. We ain't talking about Calvin Ridley, all this cha-cha sliding. You're not going to ask him to do that if you're Arthur. You know what he can't do. You're not going to call plays for him to go across the middle like that. You're going to call plays where he can do well.
But I think that one thing that, to K-Style's point, if I can read his mind once again, it goes back to a conversation about not allowing the defense to get a tell on us. If we're trying to compensate for Calvin Ridley, that's a tell that the defense can take advantage of, even if it's just one player out of the rest of the 10. Like, that is all that's necessary. If we know that we're going to try to limit the playbook to only accommodate for Calvin Ridley's like limitations based off of what he chooses not to do or what he just can't do.
Stop. What is his tell?
Well, first off, I don't think he really wanted to run the block for us when it comes to running the ball. All right, and that's like the biggest component, making sure that he buys into that instead of like having to worry about getting his numbers and stuff so that he can try to get it on Snapchat again. But
no, we're keeping it football. Let's keep it football. No, I'm
gonna say, look,
what is his tail?
I'm about to say if you're looking at,
go ahead.
Let me get this out quick. Because if you're looking at particularly the routes that they're running in this system, as great of a route runner as a Calvin Ridley is, you're going to be looking at what's his mindset as far as adapting to what the mindset of the rest of the team is. Now, we've seen Calvin.
I'm about to say what his limitations were.
So,
all right.
Okay.
Because what I'm getting to is because it's not that he can't go and hasn't been going over the middle. He goes over the middle, but he do the funky chicken, the moonwalk going backwards. That's not necessarily saying that he can't do it because he's been doing that.
But that goes into the mindset of where they want their players to be, though. This is what I'm going at.
I get that. I know exactly what you
also,
but again,
also with Calvin Ridley, he runs a lot of comeback routes. He allows a run like speed outs and a lot of stuff to the sideline. We don't really see that with this team anymore, right? Like we get the occasional kind of speed route from Drake London on like certain situations, some with OZ with like the flat routes and whatnot, just to get the first down. But that was something that Matt and Calvin was like really known for, right? Just like making sure that he's using his routes and just like that's it, right? Just like to get the free 15 yards and come back. I have
a rebuttal for that because if you go back to the University of Alabama, and even here, he ran those same routes across the middle in the University of Alabama. So again, it's not that he can't do it or he won't do it. It's the matter of what K-Style was saying, his mindset. So if Calvin Ridley does come back and he has that mindset of like, look, if I want to play in the NFL, I got to buy into this. And this doesn't just sit for the Falcons. This is all of the NFL. Because if he does it, now you got a complete wide receiver to go along with Pitts, London. But it becomes a money issue. And like I said, all of that, and I'm just talking about for 1 year. I'm not talking about keeping them for 5 years and throwing them a big mega contract because we don't have the money for that anyway. But I'm saying for that 1 year, you got Drake, you got Pitts, and you have Calvin Ridley. If he buys into that, this team is that more dangerous. So this particular season, it makes that Falcons team, 23 Falcons team, that much more dangerous.
So like I said, it was not a matter of Calvin really can't do it, because I can pull up tape even last year where he was going across the middle. Yeah, he did the funky chicken like K Style said, but he can do
that. Yeah, and then you also have to look at the fact that if you're bringing him here, this is a particular offense where they're not chucking the ball 30, 40 times a game neither. So if he's going to be willing to accept that limitation of I may not get, because we have to remember before in the 5 games Calvin Ridley had, he got targeted 57 times.
Yeah, he wasn't bound into that. We saw him on the sidelines. He was pouting like a little bitch. So
yeah,
like I said, my scenario is basically what if, not like all right, if he buys into the system. If he buys into the system, now
if he buys into the system, but if we're looking at how he plays compared to what the receivers they have now, his style does not replicate what this offense does. Now, like you said, he's got the talent to do so. Right here is the biggest difference.
So I just wanted to make it clear that Calvin really can run every route on you, and that's where I was getting, because a lot of people think he's just definitely, because that's how Dirk Cutter was using him, that he's nothing but a sideline receiver, and that's false. Because if you go back to the University of Alabama, and even in our system, he ran routes over the middle, but he wasn't comfortable doing it all the time. So, like I said, it wasn't a matter that he's going to buy. No. Calvin really is a well-rounded receiver, and he can do it, but his heart won't let him.
Like I said, I think this is the first time they actually seen us actually debate something where we all ain't on the same page.
They have. They think we get along. I don't know why people think we get along all the time.
But I mean, my other side of it too was that, I mean, you got to think about what's likely going to happen when he comes back, right? If he plays with us in 2023 season, does he still have the same mentality of like, hey, I want to get stats, so I'm going to do everything I can in order to get stats, even if this whole offense is predicated on like running the ball 40 different times? If I'm like going to get like 20 passing attempts out of Mariota, like how many of those catches am I going to get? Like how many of those throws are going to go to me? And if I'm going to be like in Calvin Ridley's shoes, I want that contract year. Like I want to make sure that I get the stats, because that's what people are going to judge my production off of. And I don't think he can get what he's going to want out of us for next season. So either he might try to go before we get the chance to like, fully go into like a run heavy style of offense.
Somebody should exactly. I want out of the
exactly. So
be prepared for that.
Like that is my biggest concern, right? And if he doesn't get the numbers, and then we're gonna start running the ball, but we're gonna put him on the field, he might give us that tell. He might give us this like, I don't want to try. Like I'm not going to get the ball, so why bother?
And no, that's the point. That's the issue that I have in your argument. You said that's a tail. It's not a tail because he can run that route and he's done it successfully. So it's not.
Well, I'm just saying, like when it comes to running the ball, because we're going to run the ball more often.
I think he's talking about more so of what Calvin really is as far as a blocker. I think that's where he's going with it. I think that's where he's coming, where he's talking about the blocking side. Where, like you say, at the end of the day, it's all circumstantial.
He ain't that good of a blocker himself. I'm just like, he's a great receiver, but he's better than expected. He may be better than Calvin really as a blocker. Like I said, my thing is, I'm like I said, I'm not here. Calvin really 6 feet, 180, 190. OZ is what? 5'7", 180, probably maybe.
But he tries harder.
Is he really that much of like? I gotta watch the film, but I'm not certain that
he's trying harder,
more better. He's trying, but that's not a good. That's not certain to say. All right, he's a better blocker.
Well, why do you think Arthur Smith loves him so much as a receiver? Like, it's the effort that he gives in every single play.
He does a lot of things. He does a lot of things. Like I said,
that's why he was your guys' X factor.
I see a lot of people's comment. Look, I can separate my personal thoughts on what he did and what he is, his talent. I don't care about what he did. What I'm saying as a player, Calvin Ridley can run every route on the tree, but it comes down to what Kev and Noah was saying. Will he fully commit to what the Falcons are doing offensively as a blocker and say, look, if I want to get this contract, I'm gonna have to block. I'm gonna have to do the dirty work and going over the middle. Those types of things, they're very important. But to say that he's not one of those receivers that can't do it, that's just not true whatsoever.
No, I'm just saying, like, if he wants to do what's comfortable, he's not going to want to try to do those routes the majority of the time. He's going to try to go to those out routes, those comeback routes, those slant routes, like some things that he can get and just get out of bounds quickly.
I just don't believe that. That's what the Falcons offense. This is what the Falcons offense. Julio did those all the time. Everybody in that offense did that. OZ wasn't going across the middle. He was running those same routes that Calvin Ridley. So it's not because what we're predicating Calvin Ridley in Dirk Cutter's offense. This is not dirty. It's not Dirk Cutter's offense. It's Arthur Smith's offense. And even in Arthur Smith's offense, in the first couple of games, Calvin Ridley still put up numbers. No, he didn't put up great numbers as far as his previous years, but he still put up numbers when given the opportunity to make plays. So he still did those things. But like I said, I don't want to handicap a guy based on what he did in someone else's system and say, all right, he did this in his system, he can't do it in Arthur Smith. We don't know that yet.
Because, like I said, if you're talking about the comparison between him and Olamide Zaccheaus, of course, Calvin Ridley is the better receiver. But like you said, as of right now, and like I said, this ain't no feeling, but I'm just going based off where the eye test is showing me right now, is right now, Zaccheaus has limitations in his game. But his heart is bigger than his skill set, and you're seeing it.
And that's what Calvin, maybe like not technically, he's not going to be like the best blocker, but he's going to give you the effort.
Right. So we don't. So and like you said, even when we said with Calvin Ridley at Alabama, that Alabama team he was on was not really a predominantly run team either. It was pretty much a air raid offense as well. So this is a guy that's kind of used to getting the ball. You know, you got to get the ball. Now, he's not on the Robbie Anderson, sit your goofy ass down side of the game, but
no.
But you have to put him in. We like I said, as far as we don't know how he would deal with being in a offense where he's not gonna get that many targets, or the target is not going to be the focus. That like I said, and that right there is the biggest difference. Like I said,
that's how if Calvin wants that bag right now, he has to buy into this system because other teams are watching this type of big. Because who's going to truthfully? Honestly, I don't know who's going to come out and give the Falcons a first round pick for him as it stands right now, because he's going to be a year older. He hasn't played, and we're going to say, all right, we're going to give Calvin Ridley away for, a fourth rounder. Falcons are really going to do that? Or are they just going to allow him to play because he's still technically in his fifth year? He's still technically in his fifth year. I believe.
I think we almost had the same conversation. We almost had the same conversation with Deion Jones, right? Like he went for a sixth.
I mean, it just depends.
Linebackers though. Linebackers are in a premium in this league.
Yeah, but it's all about like the overall production that you're trying to replace.
There is, again, this is a passing league. He's a linebacker. Like defensive ends and linebackers are at a premium. So you're going to pay more money for pass rushers in this league than you are for linebackers.
I think, like I said, it's just going to depend on what market out
this
there.
This is a good debate. Like I said, I love the debate, man. I love the debate.
Yeah.
Because this is how other teams are thinking as well.
Mm-hmm. So like I said, y'all actually got a rare treat tonight. Y'all actually got a full-on debate.
This is how we talk all the time. We like this,
and like none of this is like insulting. None of this is like, oh well, I'm gonna bash your thing, or I'm gonna be like disrespectful of your thing.
Right.
It's like no, like
this is
we're trying to keep it respectful all around.
Like I said, this is what you call talking about the topic and the point. Like I said, you don't have to throw nobody's mama in here. You ain't gotta talk about nobody's looks here.
Right.
Yeah, all of a sudden now y'all want to damn shoot the fair one when y'all see each other. Like, nah, bro, it don't work like that. But like I said, this is a definite. But you know what? Like I said,
see Maggie over here. She wants to fight.
Man, you don't go over there and make me a pie or something.
This is why she ain't on the panel.
Anime talking about I want to fight the panel. Girl, go on somewhere. But yeah, man, like I said, I think we should go ahead and wind it down because this is definitely a good conversation piece we need to continue.
Like Mike, you went in on Cal Ridley. How the hell are you defending him now? Like, see, that's we can separate the two.
Exactly. See, Calvin really see the problem with Calvin really was never about his skill. It was about his mindset the whole time. That's really where
right. Like
it was up here.
If we're expecting Mariota to throw the ball like 20 times, like take the Jets and Packers game, for example, right? Zach Wilson completed 10 passes. No receiver got more than 2 catches in that game.
Right.
Is that something that Calvin Ridley would like want to be a part of? If it means a win? I don't know, right? And that's like he's got to have that contract mentality.
He's got the contract mentality right now. That's why he's
and
going up.
How they get the contract is based on the stats. How does he want to get the stats? The way that he feels most comfortable about it. How does he feel more comfortable about it? Well, definitely not running the ball because that's not going to give him anything. But also just like, hey, doing what he does best.
Mm-hmm. Like you said, you don't have guys like a Larry Fitzgerald out here. You don't have guys like Roddy White out here like that anymore. Like these guys, like I said, that's why these guys were personified wide receivers that you would want to build your franchise around. Like you said, even Julio in his earlier days before the nagging injuries, it was the same thing. Like these guys
wanted to
play the game. Played the game. Now, have you noticed during this whole debate, I said nothing about him being Disco Inferno. Yeah, you realize that, right? I didn't mention none of that.
Right.
None of that. He still made me. Like I said, that Kansas City game, he still made me mad about that. I'll never forgive him for that shit. But
I think everybody said, "What are you doing? Keep going."
That's the only motherfucker I know that can run to $1 million and then stop and then go to the sideline because he saw a $5 lottery ticket. Like, motherfucker, $1 million is right there. But yeah, but I think we need to go ahead and continue this conversation because this is actually a good conversation to have. It might be one of those things we might need to break out a Friday Night Madness for this to continue this.
That's interesting.
As if you down.
I don't know how available I've been, but you know,
we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how it go. We'll see how it go. But yeah, like I said, y'all go ahead and y'all leave y'all questions and stuff in these chats. Hold on, let me go ahead and hit y'all with the outro.
I just want to point something out real quick. I don't know if it's like on my side, but I don't hear the music anymore.
How you not hear the music?
I don't know. It's been the same like this whole time, but either like something went on with the laptop, something went on with like StreamYard itself, but like you put on the music, I guess I'm the only one that doesn't hear it.
Oh, well, let me see some.
What?
It's so weird.
You didn't hear it?
Okay, I'm just trying to see. I'm trying to see if he can hear it now. Yeah, your laptop busted right now.
I'm freaking the Wi-Fi extend. I'm buying all sorts of stuff in order to help me out with my connection issues. StreamYard, come on.
Y'all tripping, man. Y'all doing my boy Noah like that. That's wrong. That is wrong, y'all. So
5G, it's taking away my music.
So, like I said, we definitely appreciate everybody tuning in to the 6-man combo. Damn, boy. I think that Calvin Ridley conversation kind of put us over what we wanted to do, but that was actually.
Oh, dang, we went that long? Wow.
Mm-hmm. I was trying to get us off get us off about 9:30, but I was like, damn, boy, this conversation got good. So I was like, let's go ahead and extend this. So we definitely appreciate y'all tuning in. Y'all make sure y'all go ahead and subscribe to Mad Mike Sports, 6-Man K Styles, and the Professor Noah Tyndale, as we all take you on this journey as the Falcon faithful. The journey with the family, which is y'all that are watching us right now. And enjoy the season we have right now, because we are 3-3.
Glad someone's enjoying the music in the chat.
Exactly.
Can't relate, but you know.
Like I said, the Falcons, but think about it, the Falcons are 3-3 right now. Nobody, 98% of this world thought that the Falcons' first win was going to come around week 9 or 10. Think about that for a second. They thought 2-15. Hey. And also shout out to Lisa. I thought she been in here. She been in here. And shouts out to everybody in here tuning in tonight, man. Like I said, y'all make us have good shows here, and it's all because of y'all, man. But oh yeah, I'm about to say, man, I don't know. It's like every time I hear this, I be just thinking Nate Dogg. I just be thinking Nate Dogg, man. I'm like, hey.
Oh really?
Yeah. They got that Nate Dogg feel to it. But until next time, people, we ain't here to play. We here to stay.
Ooh, yeah.
You ain't gotta go home.
But you got to get the hell up out of the ghetto.
Execute.
See ya.
Bam. Deuce.